Hello. Now is the time for Vietnam business news publishing on Vietnammanual's channels on Saturday evening. In the third week of September 2024, Tropical Storm Solik hit Vietnam and caused major flooding across central region. Following are the highlights of business news in this week. Rise of streaming superstars in Vietnam's e-commerce battleground. Property tycoon Truong My Lan back in court, this time for $1.2 billion bond fraud. iPhone 16 an average income of Vietnamese. And the last news about Vietnam's stock market. Rise of streaming superstars in Vietnam's e-commerce battleground. These influential figures, which include singers, actors, beauty queens, and even doctors, are competing to drive online sales for their projects through engaging live streams. These sellers generate anywhere from hundreds of millions to billions of Vietnam dong in revenue per session, with commissions ranging from 2% to 25%. The emergence of live streamers with significant promotional budgets and strong sales abilities has altered the e-commerce landscape in Vietnam. Tycoon Truong My Lan back in court, this time for $1.2 billion bond fraud. The trial of property tycoon Truong My Lan for swindling 30 trillion Vietnamese dongs, $1.2 billion, from bond investors and other alleged crimes began on Thursday 19 September. She and her accomplices also face charges of illegally transporting $4.5 billion in cash in and out of Vietnam and laundering 445.75 trillion Vietnamese dongs they raised by issuing the bonds. In April, the court also found her guilty of bribery and violating banking regulations. She has appealed the death sentence. iPhone 16 an average income of Vietnamese. The iPhone 16 is expected to be launched in Vietnam on 27 September. And today we talk about how many days does Vietnamese person need to work to afford iPhone 16 Pro. It takes 53.1 days wages for the average Vietnamese person to buy a 128GB iPhone 16 Pro, according to e-commerce platform Pycody.com's iPhone Index. This is an improvement from the 55.6 days required for the iPhone 15 Pro last year. Market ends the week with a modest gain. Vietnam's stock market closed Friday with a slight gain, marking its fourth consecutive session of increases, while foreign investors scaled back their net selling. The VN index on the Ho Chi Minh Stock Exchange, HOSE, rose by 0.77 points, or 0.06%, to close at 1,272.04 points. On the Hanoi Stock Exchange, HNX, the HNX index also ended higher on Friday, rising by 0.23% to 234.3 points. Thank you for watching our weekly business news in Vietnam. Do not forget to subscribe and like Vietnammanual channels to update business news in Vietnam.